I had a secret cash arrangement with a 14-year-old girl, then my daughter started asking questions. It started 3 months ago when I was running late for work and glanced out the kitchen window. My daughter Maxine was walking down the sidewalk alone with her head down. A group of girls from her grade passed her laughing about something on their phones, and not a single one of them even looked at her. She just kept walking like she was invisible, and I realized this was probably what every single morning looked like for her. She was 13 and she had nobody, not since her best friend told the whole school she was only pretending to like her as a joke. Maxine didn't eat for 3 days after that and spent a week in a facility that I'm still paying off. That night I knocked on my neighbor's door and asked if I could talk to her daughter Jane. I told Jane I would pay her $20 every day if she walked to school with my daughter in the mornings and made it look natural. She raised an eyebrow. Why can't she just make friends on her own? I said some kids need a little help and left it at that. She shrugged. $20 is $20. We shook on it. The next morning I watched from the window as Jane knocked on our door and asked Maxine if she wanted to walk together. Maxine looked so confused, like she couldn't understand why anyone would voluntarily want to be near her. She said sure and grabbed her backpack, and I watched them walk down the street side by side while I tried not to cry into my coffee. Within 2 weeks, they were texting constantly. Jane even started coming over after school to do homework with Maxine. Every night at dinner, Maxine would say things like, "Jane thinks I should try out for the school play," and "Jane said my drawings are really good." I just nodded and kept secretly handing Jane cash in the driveway every Friday. Then one afternoon, Jane cornered me in the kitchen while Maxine was in the bathroom. She told me Maxine was getting too attached, and this was starting to feel really messed up. What happens when I go to college in 4 years and she has nobody again? I asked if she wanted more money, and she looked at me like I had slapped her. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about what happens to her when this ends. I didn't have an answer. She said she needed a few days to think about whether she wanted to keep doing this. I spent that whole weekend terrified she was going to tell Maxine the truth or ghost her completely. But on Monday morning, Jane knocked on our door like nothing happened. That Friday when I tried to hand her the cash, she pushed it back. "I don't want it anymore. I actually like her." I told her to take it anyway, and she rolled her eyes and shoved it in her pocket. Things were fine for a couple more weeks, but then one Monday morning I saw Jane heading toward our house and realized I had forgotten to pay her on Friday. I jogged across the lawn and caught her by the mailbox, pulling the cash out and handing it to her fast without saying anything. She shoved it in her jacket. Then I heard our front door open behind me. Maxine was standing on the porch watching us with a weird look on her face. "What did you just give her?" My throat completely closed up. Maxine started walking toward us. "Dad, what was that?" Jane's mom pulled out of their driveway to go to work at the exact wrong moment and rolled down her window. "Morning! What's everyone standing around for?" Maxine ignored her and stared at Jane. "Why did my dad just hand you something?" Jane didn't even blink. She turned to her mom and said, "I almost forgot to pick up my dog walking money this week." Her mom looked confused. "Your what?" Jane sighed like she was annoyed. "Mom, I told you like 5 times. I walk the Worley's dog every morning while they're out of town. They asked Maxine's dad to hold the cash for me since I never see them." Her mom nodded slowly like she maybe remembered. Maxine looked at me, then at Jane, then back at me. "How long have you been holding her money?" Jane jumped in before I could fumble it. "Like 2 weeks. I just kept forgetting to grab it." Maxine stared at me for a long moment, then shrugged. "I didn't even know the Worleys had a dog." Jane grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the sidewalk. "It's one of those little white ones that doesn't bark. Come on, or we're gonna be late."